Down East magazine is out with its September issue, which features its annual picks in a wide variety of categories for the best of Maine. We talked about the best of Maine with editor-in-chief Will Grunwald, but began our conversation with a look at some businesses that Down East describes as the holdovers, one of which is Opera House Video in Belfast, the last true video rental shop in the state.
Yeah, as far as we know, I mean, it's the last true video rental. You know, there's some places that like maybe rent some DVDs on the side, but it's the last dedicated video rental store in Maine.
How do they keep it going?
You know, I memean, I think the through line through all of these businesses is that they have a community that supports them, right? And owners who are committed to the concept. And I think probably the video rental typifies that more than any, just because it feels like time has really passed that by.
It takes determination and passion to do it, and that's what they've got that's fueling them.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about another article in this September issue. It's about a woman on Matinicus Island who is making sea salt, and this is fascinating both as a business story and as a personal story.
Yeah, absolutely. So Usha Bowden has a very interesting background. She was essentially a street kid in India until about the age of 5, and then was adopted by a family in Maine, which, you know, is like a pretty literal world away. And the family that adopted her, you know, to go even further, had deep roots on Matinicus, which is the most remote year-round inhabited island in the state. And so the story is about how she really developed an affinity for the island, and is now starting this business out there, which is not an easy business, especially on an island where, you know, you have limited ferry service and limited mail service. You know, I think she's doing it both as a business, but also as sort of a love letter to this place that she's really come to know as home.
Yeah, as with the holdouts, it takes passion to make a business like this run. It's a really interesting piece. Let's get to the best of Maine. What were you guys trying to do this year as you looked at the best of Maine?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, every year it's a totally reader-driven poll of both nominees and then voting on winners. And then we like to weigh in on some of the selections that kind of caught our eye. And you know, it's always a mix of familiar places, and then our readers have their finger on the pulse of things, so there are always some surprises too. I always learn new stuff through it.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about it, is it's so informative. One of the places that was an editor's choice is the Wiscasset Antiques Mall. What was it about that place that caught your eye?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I can understand why it won in the antiques store category. It's the place itself just feels sort of antique. It's, you know, wide wood plank flooring, exposed beams, a great lineup of vendors inside. It also has apparently a bit of a celebrity following. People like Martha Stewart, John Travolta, I think Barbara Streisand have been known to stop in. I don't know if they voted in the Best of Maine poll, but you know, it gives it a little extra cachet.
We like to think that Barbara Streisand filled out a ballot from out there in Malibu.
I'm sure she did. Yeah.
And let's just hit one other place that's profiled in the Best of Maine. It's one of these places. There are so many of them in Maine. Many people know it. Many people have not been to it. It's the Maine Maritime Museum in Bath.
Yeah, you know, and it's always been such a wonderful museum. I think what's really interesting about it right now is that over the last few years, it's sort of started to take a new curatorial approach, a little bit of a fresh one, going beyond sort of a more narrow definition of maritime history. Right now, for instance, there's even a really neat exhibition of life-size versions of Chris Van Dusen illustrations, the children's book author from the Mid-Coast. In addition to that, they've also started a beer garden in the summer.
Which is never a bad thing?
No, they partnered up with Flight Deck Brewing from Brunswick, and it's a gorgeous scene along the riverfront there. If more museums had beer gardens, I would go to more museums.
Find those stories and more in the September issue of Down East, which is on sale now.